A good videographer, or maybe I should say a good light designer, controls light. Light is a very powerful thing that can make the difference between an amateur looking video and a professional looking video. And so successful control of light is critical to field or studio video production. In this tutorial, I'll just briefly go over some of the ways that professional videographers control light. One way of controlling light is through diffusion. Diffusion is when you soften light in order to make it smoother. For example, I've got a plain light on this chair right here, and you can see this harsh pool of light right here, and you can see the crisp shadow along the edge. Here is that exact same chair. The only change that I've made is I've put an umbrella diffuser on the light to soften the light. Notice that now the pool of light on the chair is much less harsh, is not glaring off the chair, and the shadow behind the chair is soft and calm, and there's nothing that is harsh or about the edge of that shadow. Compare that again to this. So there's the original undiffused light, and here's a diffused light. It does the same thing to human skin. It softens and warms human skin and blends over the blemishes. I've already mentioned this Fresnel light and how it can be adjusted to be a spotlight or a floodlight. There's another way of controlling light. Some lights have barn doors attached to them. Barn doors are these flaps which can be folded shut or opened back up again, and the flaps will create a shadow if you want to focus exactly where the light's going or how much light comes out of your light. Just put on some barn doors and then adjust those barn doors until you get the size opening that you want. This is very thick black aluminum foil, and sometimes it's called cinefoil, sometimes it's called black wrap, but a spool of this foil can be very useful on a set because you can fold it into exactly the shape you want and use it as a flag, a way of blocking light and creating very precise shadows. Right here I've punched a hole in my cinefoil, and I can use that to create a pin light, a very thin beam of light that just goes through that hole. Another thing you can do with it is tear it into strips, and each of these strips can create a shadow. If you want a series of shadows, like striped shadows across a subject, a nice strip of cinefoil can do the job. A theater or a more complex studio might have a light board like this one. A light board might even be connected to a computer that can computer program dozens of lights or even hundreds of lights that are mounted into a ceiling. You can even create programs where you design exact patterns of light, and you can set timings for those patterns, and say for a live theatrical production, a computer-controlled light board such as this one can play an entire programmed set of light controls and have those play out over time. I mentioned diffusion already, but here's another good example. So this photograph captured by Christian Fisher and released on Creative Commons through public domain, thank you Mr. Fisher, here is a photo of a frog taken under normal sunlight conditions, and he looks great. But here's that same frog diffused. See how his skin is softer and smoother? It's still in sharp focus, it's just a better composition, a better light design I should say. So this frog is kind of harsh, this frog is kind of soft. And the way it's done is with a diffuser, such as this umbrella right here. There's the frog down there sitting underneath the umbrella on this normal sunny day. Mr. Fisher puts his diffuser there to soften the sunlight on the frog. I also mentioned gels already, but here's a picture of what those look like. This is a frame that you can attach to a light in order to hold the gel. It just has little clamps that pinch it in place. And here's a packet of gels of different colors and different densities that you can use to control exactly what color the light is as it comes through the lamp, or it comes through the gel literally, or how much light goes through. You might want to cut that light in specific amounts. In more advanced video production classes, we'll learn more specific uses for gels, but in the Video 1A class, all you need to know is that gels can change the color or amount of light that gets through.